All right. Happy Wednesday. You have a special guest today. I am your host. If you don't know me, my name is Taylor Kerrigan. I am the Director of Sales, Director of Operations, a little bit of everything here at Glover U. And today I'm actually your host for the summer webinar series. So if you've met me before or you've been on a webinar with me before, drop a hello in the chat. I'd love to see you. I've got the awesome Justin Ford on with me today, and we are going to be covering all things prospecting. If you know Justin, you know that he is the lead generation monster, and he's going to be sharing with you exactly what he does to succeed. But before we get started, I know that we have some new attendees that are with us on the Zoom today. So if this is your first time at a Glover U webinar, you're trying us out for the first time, drop in the chat where you're from and drop that you're a first time an attendee. And if you're a repeat attendee, still drop your location in the chat. You never know where you will meet someone, get a referral from. I saw some back and forth going on. I'm actually in Florida right now too. So for whoever was talking about being there in Florida, I'm here with you. Awesome, Justin, look at all these first timers. First timer, first timer, first timer. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking a chance on us today. If you're not familiar with Glover U is a broker agnostic training and coaching company. And so what that means is that we take all types of systems, sales tactics, skills, trainings from different brokerages across the country, whether it's EXP, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Real Estate One, RE/MAX, doesn't matter what it is. We take those trainings and we put it all together to really put the best training together for you. And so when we talk about our Glover U coaches, one of the other benefits with us is that we're boots on the ground. You know, Justin still prospects every single day. I was seeing yesterday, Justin, I don't even know if you know this or not, you went on a listing appointment, you were competing against one of our agents at the Glover agency. The other day you were on an appointment. I don't know who got it or not, but my point with that is he's still on the ground with us. Jeff's still on the ground with us. I am too. All of our Glover U coaches are. And that's a huge benefit for you guys who join us in Glover U and follow us, being that we are right alongside with you and sharing the tactics that we use not 5-10 years ago, but what we're using today. So because we had a couple first timers dropping those in the chat, that's awesome. Thanks for seeing it. Thanks, Karen, joining us for the first time in Charlotte. We've got Varsha, first timer. We've got Michelle, first timer in Montana. Awesome. We've got people from all over the country. So because we have a couple first timers, I'm not going to go through all the free resources like we normally do. If you have your workbook, which by the way, I'm going to drop that in the chat for you. There's the workbook. Make sure that you look at the page in there of all of our free resources. What's awesome about Glover U is we do a lot of stuff to try to help you grow your business, and we don't charge you anything for it. We've got our social media plan. We've got different database stuff that we do. If you look at the free resources in that page, you'll be able to get it. But there's two important ones that Jeff told me, okay, Taylor, you can't go on without talking about these two. The first is the daily text message. So if you're getting the daily text message right now, will you drop in the chat that you're getting the text messages? Are you guys getting some good value from that? Jeff does that personally every single morning, Monday through Friday. He writes it himself. Usually he's sitting outside, weather bearing in Michigan, having a nice cup of coffee. And it's always either sales related. Sometimes it's motivational. Today, obviously, he was talking about yesterday, it was his birthday, and he was talking about how he was working on his birthday and everyone kept saying, don't work too hard. For him, that's what he loves. Same thing, Justin and I, we do work every single day because it's not work to us. It's what we love doing. So if you haven't signed up for the morning message before, I'm going to give you the instructions on how you do that. So pull out your cell phone and you're going to pretend like you're just sending a text message to a friend, and you're going to text the word morning, MORNING, and then the number that you're going to text it to is 55444. Okay, so I just dropped that in the chat as well. 55444 is the number that you text, and you're going to text the word morning. You can subscribe for that. Like I said, Jeff sends it personally Monday through Friday, every single day at any time. You can unsubscribe just by typing the word stop. And for our friends in Canada, I know that sometimes we have people from all across North America and sometimes even different parts of the country or different parts of the world as well. If you are looking to register for it, make sure that you go to info@gloveru.com and just ask them to register you for the morning message. Those are for our Canadian friends or friends outside of the United States. If you're in the United States, though, use the 55444 and then obviously text the word morning to that. And then the other one is just the Unreal Life magazine. The Unreal Life magazine is our publication. We put it out a couple times throughout the year. It's like 90 pages of sales and motivational content. We cover the postage, we cover the printing. There's absolutely no cost to you whatsoever, and we will send it to you as long as you register for it. For anyone who currently receives it, Justin loves the 777. So drop a 777 in the chat if you're getting the Unreal Life magazine. We have sent out hundreds and thousands of these across the country. And I'm going to share with you now, if you are not currently receiving it, or maybe you got it once and you want to make sure that you keep getting it in the future, I'm going to tell you exactly how you do that. So first, you can go to the, if you have Facebook, you go to Facebook and you search like the groups section, and you search for the Glover U Inner Circle. Okay, so I'm going to drop that in the chat. Glover U Inner Circle. You click the little magnifying glass up in the top hand corner and you type in Glover U Inner Circle and you request to join. One of the questions is it asks for your mailing address. When you put your mailing address in there, we're going to send this to you every single time we have one of these publications. Another benefit of being in that Facebook group, it's great for agent to agent referrals. I think Justin, I just saw you asking for someone earlier today or yesterday that you needed an agent in a different part of the country. It's awesome to get referrals. It's awesome to find people who are doing business just like you and get some recommendations on how you should transform your business and learn from others who are already succeeding with a different source. Obviously, that's a great way to get the Live Unreal magazine as well. But also, if you already get it, or maybe you're not on Facebook, you can go to gloveru.com/mag and you can register there too. Again, we cover all of the costs, nothing associated to you. All you have to do is subscribe and we will make sure that you get one every single time we send it out. And for those of you, there were tons of 777s in the chat. I'm glad that you're getting some benefit from it. All right. So those are the 2 free resources. Jeff's going to listen to this later and he's going to say, Taylor, you got to make sure that you cover those. So I checked that box there. Now I'm going to shift gears to why you guys are really here. The ultimate Justin Ford. I have had the pleasure of knowing Justin for, gosh, how many years now, Justin? How many years is it?
10 years.
10 years Justin and I have worked together. Justin first started with us as an inside sales associate, which is also known as a telemarketer at the Glover Agency, formerly known as Jeff Glover and Associates. And I know that you love when I try to tell everyone that on your first day you wanted to quit. And the reason why I share that story, though, is because prospecting and lead generating is hard. You know, rejection is hard. We also say at Glover U, the more rejection you get, the more money you're going to make. So I'm going to let Justin take it away and share how every time he's getting a no, he's one step closer to a yes, and how he achieves that in his business. Justin, I'll let you take it from here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Taylor. Super excited to be here with everybody today. I do want to let you know that we're going to cover some great stuff in a short period of time today. So make sure you have your workbook. And if you don't have the workbook, make sure you're taking notes. And if you're not taking notes, because maybe you're in the car, make sure you go back and watch this recording so that you can take notes. We're going to cover 6 things today. Number 1, we're going to cover proven strategies to enhance your sales approach and close more deals. How many of you guys want to close more deals? Drop a 777, right? Number 2, we're going to cover techniques for understanding customer psychology and effectively addressing their needs. Number 3, we're going to cover secrets to securing more signatures and driving increased sales. Number 4, we're going to cover tips for dominating your market and staying ahead of the competition. Number 5, we're going to cover practical advice, effectively communicating your value proposition and differentiating yourself. And last but not least, we're going to cover actionable steps to empower yourself and achieve remarkable sales success. I do want to set the expectation that I am at a field trip with some high school students that we work with as a nonprofit. And today's day got switched. It was supposed to be yesterday. And so I told Jeff, I'm showing up anyway. And so you may hear some background noise from time to time. So please bear with me. But we did test the sound and everything sounds good. Again, my name is Justin Ford. As Taylor said, I have been involved with Jeff Glover and his organizations for the last 10 years. It was my introduction to real estate back in 2013 as a brand new real estate agent. I thought getting into real estate was just selling homes and making a lot of money. And I didn't know how to do that. I just saw it on HGTV. I saw real estate agents driving nice cars. And I said, you know what? I want to be one of those. And I remember interviewing with Jeff back in 2013, excited about working with him because Jeff and his team are the #1 home selling team here in Michigan, have been for the last 10 years. And when I met with Jeff and I told him I was interested, he kind of set the air out of my sail when he told me that for the first 90 days of working with him, I had to be a telemarketer. At least that's what I thought it was. And he said, everybody starts as an inside sales associate and everybody learns the skill of prospecting. And he said, Justin, if you'll trust me and you will learn these skills, you will be very successful. And unfortunately, that day I left pretty discouraged. Didn't think I was going to work with Jeff and his team because not only did you have to be on the phone for 90 days and not go on a listing appointment, not meet with the client, but be on the phones 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, that I would only be on $1,000 a month draw. And that was not enough to pay for me and my family of 6. And so I got back with Jeff. We worked out $2,000 a month. He hired me, and the rest is history. Was an ISA for his team for 90 days and learned the skills necessary to communicate with sellers in order to take more listings and sell more homes. After the 90 days, I became an outside sales associate with Jeff's team, took 30 listings my first month in the business, 33 my second month in the business, went on to take 100 listings my first 6 months, sell 100 homes in my first 12 months after my first closing. And the credit for doing those type of numbers and having that type of success are going to be the things that I teach you today. These are the things that I still follow today. These are the things that Jeff and his team still follow today to sell 1,000 homes a year. And this stuff works. And I'm also now the prospecting bootcamp coach here at Glover U. And one of the things that I find with real estate agents is real estate agents all want to find the easiest way to get a transaction, looking for the shortcuts and not having to do the hard stuff. But let me tell you something. If you want to sell real estate at a high level and you want to be a top producer, you're going to have to do the hard stuff. And so if today you want to sell more homes, you're not happy where your pipeline is, you're not making enough money, the answer is real simple, and I want you to write this down. Okay, ready? Here we go. You're just not talking to enough people. Real estate can truly be summed up with having conversations about real estate. And the more conversations you have, the more transactions you'll do. Doesn't matter how experienced you are, doesn't matter how long you've been in the business. It's called the law of averages. And the law of averages says the more people I talk to, the more people are going to say yes. And the more people that say yes, the more appointments I'll go on. And the more appointments I go on, the more listings I'll take. And the more listings I take, the more money I'll make. Now, why don't people like to prospect? Why don't people like to go out and get in front of people? What are some of the reasons, guys? Drop it in the chat. Why do people not like to pick up the phone, go door knock? Yep, rejection, fear of rejection, scared, not knowing what to say, time consuming, all of these things. And no matter what webinar I'm on, no matter what group of people I'm in front of, these are the standard typical answers that all real estate agents share. So there's nothing wrong with why you're not doing it, but what we need to address is the limiting belief that's keeping you from getting in front of more people. So I first like to start off and tell you what the definition of prospecting is. The definition of prospecting is real simple. It's the first step in the sales process, and the goal of prospecting is to add people to our database in hopes of turning them into a customer. That's it. So no matter if it's real estate, no matter if you're selling cars, no matter if you're selling insurance, prospecting is prospecting, period. And if we're in real estate, you're doing some form of prospecting. You may not call it prospecting, but if you door knock, you're prospecting. If you're calling your database, you're prospecting. If you're calling expireds in for sale by owners, you're prospecting. Even if you leverage social media and use social media, you're prospecting. Because the whole purpose of sales is to have conversations with people and to convert people into appointments and convert appointments into contracts. That's it. Okay. So there's two things that we're really going to address within the 6 things I'm going to talk about today. And these are the 2 things that every real estate agent needs to be focusing on from this day forward. I don't care what else you have going on. These 2 things have to be at the top of your list. Number 1 is your mindset, and number 2 is your skills. These 2 things will solve every issue that you have in your business. These 2 things will take you from where you are to where you want to be in your business. Okay. Because everybody knows that they can have access to our scripts for free. You probably have them. Everybody knows that you can go out and get Vulcan 7 or Red X, which will tell you how to get here at the end. Everybody knows that they can pick up the phone, but we have to address, why don't agents do that? Especially knowing if that's going to lead to more transactions. Okay. So we're going to start with these 6 things today. And I want to break these things down and give you actionable items and takeaways that you can take away today and begin implementing in your business to help you get in front of more people, set more appointments, take more listings, and make more money. So first things first, I want to talk about proven strategies to enhance your sales approach and close more deals. And we're going to start with mindset. So I want you to write this down. Number 1, you absolutely have to have a bulletproof mindset filled with resilience. We know that the market's changed over the last year. We know that interest rates are high. It's hard to be a buyer's agent again. You know, to go out on listing appointments, you're competing against other agents. You know, it's a little bit harder to get a deal today than it was last year. Therefore, we have to understand the importance of having a bulletproof mindset. We know deals are falling apart. I just had a deal fall apart 5 days before closing because the seller decided she wanted to go a different direction at basically with the property right up before the closing. So I had to deal with clients who had already notified their apartments they were moving, and now there's a legal issue. So deals are falling apart. Sellers are changing their mind. Buyers are getting cold feet. These are all a part of a normal market and are things that you need to get used to and are experiencing. Real quick, you could drop a 111. Who has either had a deal fall apart or you're in the middle of a deal falling apart right now? Drop a 111, right? There it is. Look at that. We're all experiencing that right now. And you know what? If we're not intentional about having a bulletproof mindset, that's going to mess us up. And when we're messed up in our mindset, or we're feeling down and discouraged, or we don't have a plan around our mindset, we're going to get discouraged. We're not going to show up the way we need to show up, and it's going to affect our production. Okay. So I want to give you right now some ways that you can have a bulletproof mindset. Number 1 is, first and foremost, you have to identify what are your limiting beliefs. What are some of the limiting beliefs that you have? And you don't have to put these in the chat, but what are some of the limiting beliefs that you have about getting in front of more people, about creating more success in real estate, right? About picking up the phone and prospecting, about doing more business and making more money. We all have limiting beliefs. And a lot of times they're stuck in our subconscious mind. And because we're not identifying them at the forefront conscious mindset, those things are kind of having their way in the back of our mind. And sometimes we don't even know why we're afraid to pick up the phone or why we're feeling depressed or discouraged. And so I challenge you to take some time and identify what are your limiting beliefs. Because when you can identify what your limiting beliefs are, you can start working on how to overcome those. Number 2, what are you listening to that is helping you develop a strong mindset, right? We talk about every agent should be listening to at least 1 podcast a day, 5 days a week. You could be listening to our Live Unreal podcast. You could be listening to anything John Maxwell, which we love John Maxwell, especially Taylor, right? You've got so many great podcasts.
He's my best friend. He's not your best friend. Be clear on that, Justin.
Okay. I no, Taylor's a fan for sure, and I love John too. But my podcast, I have a great podcast where we talk about things outside of just real estate, but marriage and finances and health and having a strong mindset. There's a one thing mind podcast that's really great, or anything else that you can think of. But what are you putting into your brain every day to strengthen your mindset? Okay. Next one, quit hanging around negative people. If you know that right now you have people around you who are complaining how bad the industry is, how bad their life is, how much they're struggling or how bad the industry sucks right now, it's time to find some new friends. Do not surround yourself with people who are not going where you want to go. Identify people who have a better mindset, who are maybe more successful than you, and get around those people. Because what did they say? If you surround yourself with 5 successful people, 5 positive people, guess what you become? The 6th successful positive person. If you surround yourself with 5 negative Nancys, guess what you become? The 6th negative Nancy. So protect your circle. You should write that down. Protect your circle. Next one, get to conferences. We've got a great conference that's coming up here in the next 2 weeks, the Glover U Live Unreal Retreat. The reason why we say get to conferences is because you're going to get to meet other agents like you who want to grow themselves, who want to learn and go to the next level. Great way to surround yourself with winners. And then last but not least, this is a good one. Do not be attached to the outcome. Do not be attached to the outcome, right? When this deal fell apart last week, I could have got all discouraged and all frustrated. Oh my gosh. But you know what? I can't control it. I did my part. I sent them to an attorney that they could connect with, and that's it. But I remember when things didn't work out my way or a deal fell apart, it crushed me. Therefore, I couldn't show up the next day and prospect and set more appointments to keep filling my pipeline because I was discouraged and I didn't have a strong mindset. Don't focus on the end result. Focus on the process. We're going to talk about the process today. And when you focus on the process, guess what shows up? The end result. Be willing to do the hard stuff that no one else is willing to do. Think about that. Most agents have the fear of rejection. Most agents aren't willing to pick up the phone. Most agents aren't willing to door knock and get out there and do the hard work. So what does that mean if you choose to do that? You have an unfair advantage. You're putting yourself ahead of your competition. But just know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay. So those are some mindset things that you can do to help you take advantage of everything else I'm going to share with you. And I really like to hit on mindset when I teach, because if I'm just teaching you techniques and skills and your mindset sucks, you're not going to do it anyway. Okay. So I always like to focus on the mindset, do the hard stuff and get out there and make it happen. Now, what should you be doing? I said earlier that there's 2 things that you need to focus on, mindset and your skills. And so today we're going to talk about skills, how you can develop your skills and what you need to do in order to start getting results through prospecting immediately. Okay. So our skills should be the most important thing outside of mindset that we're focusing on right now. And not just the most important thing, but your number 1 asset. Why? Because we have to understand that consumers make decisions on who they're going to hire largely on how you and I make them feel. What do I mean by that? Okay. How do you make someone feel a certain way? Well, it's based on what you say. Therefore, becoming a master sales professional, which every single person on this call should desire to become a master sales professional, that requires practicing what it is you say over the phones, at the door, at the appointment, in the buyer consultation, through messenger, through email, or even text. Okay. And this is the exact formula that Jeff gives in order to, or what we teach, that he still teaches his agents today. So I want to share this with you, and I want you guys to take notes on this. Because moving forward, even though we're hearing all this AI coming out and chat and GPT, and those things will help, but tech can never replace your skills, my skills as a sales professional. So we have to understand that. We want to be sales based first, and then tech marketing and service enhanced second, okay? Because you can have the best leads, you can give the best service, the best tech, and even the best marketing. But if you have little to no skills, you're going to lose to a Glover U trained agent every time. And I mean that, because the agents that follow our teaching, whether it's from a webinar like this or they're in our coaching programs or they come to our events, it's a guaranteed fact that agents that follow the success formula, the blueprint, the scripts, and everything that we teach see more results. If you have followed us, followed our scripts, followed our trainings, or have been in our coaching, and it has improved your business, drop a 777. If being connected to Glover U has helped your business, helped you sell more homes, help more clients, drop a 7-7. There's a ton of you, right? Because what we teach works. So I want to give you guys this formula on how you can begin to do that. Because sales dialogues do not need to be complicated or feared. I know we fear that, and it's a normal thing, human nature. In fact, if we were to sum them up, our scripts and dialogues are really just the following three things, which every real estate professional needs to get good at. So write this down. Number one, ask great questions. Ask great questions. When we teach people the scripts, they're like, oh my gosh, this is pretty easy, because all it is questions. Selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions. Write that down. Selling is not telling. Selling is asking questions. All you have to do is become great at asking questions. Number two, actively listen to their answers. When you ask a seller, what made you take your home off the market? Where were you moving to after you sold your home? How soon did you want to be there? All you have to do is ask questions and then listen to their answers. And then when you hear their answers, number three, ask deeper questions based off their answers. So what does that mean? That means asking, okay, great. What was the main reason why you decided to sell your home yourself rather than list it with a real estate agent if it's a for sale by owner? Well, to save money. Great. So what I hear you saying is you want to walk away with as much money as possible, correct? They're like, yes, absolutely. That is why you sell for sale by owner, right? Yep. So I'm sure you've come up with a bottom line number that you can't go below to where it makes sense to sell, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Now, as long as you get that number, does it really matter how you sell or how much commission you pay, as long as you get what you want? No, if I can get what I want, it doesn't matter how I sell. And then boom, you go for the close. Do you see how I ask different layers of the question? Because if you understand even calling for sale by owners and expireds, you'll all understand that they've made a decision in their mind as to why they don't want to work with an agent. It's called an objection. And as long as you can overcome their objection, and how do you do that? By asking questions, you'll find out what their true objection is. And as long as you have an answer to that objection, there's no reason why they shouldn't set an appointment with you. Okay. So again, number one, ask great questions. Number two, actively listen to their answers. And then number three, ask deeper questions based off their answers, meaning go 3 deep. Okay. So if all we have to do is ask questions, how do we build confidence in order to ask questions and prospect? Because this is what this really is. There's no magic bullet. There's no secret sauce. The way that you prospect and sell more homes and make more money is by doing the hard stuff. And it all starts with conversations. So what we say is you have to master dialogues. What's a dialogue? It's a script. It's how you communicate. It's the questions that you ask. And so if you don't have access to our script book, Taylor posted it in the group. We'll make sure you guys get a copy of that. There's 3 things that you need to do in order to master dialogues. I want you to write this down. Number 1 is you take our scripts and you write them out daily. Week 2 in our prospecting bootcamp, I tell our students, all right, I want you to write out the expired script 5 times a day for the next 7 days. Why? so that they can internalize that script, so they can memorize that script, so that when they pick up the phone the following week, they don't sound like a robot. See, a lot of us are afraid to pick up the phone or door knock or prospect because we don't know what to say. So mastering dialogues overcomes that limiting belief, so you know what to say, right? The next thing that you can do is to chant them daily. What does that mean? That means where you take the script and you just read it out loud. Good morning, my name is Justin Ford. I'm a local realtor. I was calling about the home for sale. Is it still available? And then you just read through the script. You can do that in the mirror, because what is that doing? That's helping you internalize the script. And then number 3 is to role play the scripts daily. One of the awesome things that you can do is go in the Glover U Inner Circle and you can say, hey, I'm looking for a role play partner. There's over 17,000 people in the Glover U Inner Circle. And if you need a role play partner, you'll be able to find one. And so you take your script, you set a time with your role play partner, you call at that time, they say hello, and boom, you go into it. Good morning. My name is Justin Ford and I'm a local realtor. I'm calling about the home for sale. Is it still available? So you go through the script. So you're the agent, they're the seller. And then you guys take turns. Now you're the seller, they're the agent. This is how you master dialogues. Is it boring? Absolutely. Will you get carpal tunnel in your hand after writing out scripts all the time? Probably. But if you want to be a great prospector and if you want to sell more homes, you cannot circumvent this step. Everybody wants to look for the easiest way to get to a deal, but I'm telling you guys, this is the fastest way to a deal. To pick up the phone or to go knock on a door, have 20 to 30 conversations every day, your business will explode. You do that for the rest of this year, all the way through the end of 2023, your business will look better than it's ever looked before. Why? Because sooner or later, when you're calling people and you're having conversations, sooner or later, someone's going to say yes. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. It's a numbers game, okay? So we have to, number 1, we need to learn how to ask great questions. Number 2, actively listen to their answers. Number 3, and ask deeper questions. And the way we get really good at that is write out the scripts daily, chant them daily, and role play them daily, okay? So now that you're doing that, you're role playing the for sale by owner scripts, you're role playing the expired scripts. What do we do next? Okay. Well, we have to identify what sources are we going to call. In every market across the country, some of them have less, some of them have more. You should be able to find expireds and for sale by owners in your local market. Well, Justin, I don't have a lot in my local market. Well, then I'll encourage you to spread your local market or your reach out to about an hour radius, okay? When I first joined Jeff's team, I was taking listings an hour and a half away. Why? Because I wanted to get off food stamps. And I wasn't making a lot of money. I wasn't really making any money when I worked for Jeff. So I would drive an hour and a half to get a listing. I would take a $50,000 listing. It didn't matter to me because I needed to feed my family. So you have to have a mindset that if you're struggling, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get out there and sell more homes, okay? So I want to talk to you a little bit more about what it means to have conversations. So you pick a source, whether it's expireds or for sale by owners. I think expireds are a great source and for sale by owners is my favorite, okay? Many of you have heard this stuff before, but if you're not doing it, we need to hear it again, okay? So let's talk about expireds. An expired listing comes off the market because their agent didn't get the job done. So what do they need? A great agent. They need someone to get the job done. How many of you guys either believe you're a great agent or you desire to be one? Drop a 777 in the chat, okay? You either believe you're a great agent or you desire to be one. So what does a expired listing need? They need a great agent. So go be that great agent. Rather than being afraid of expireds, what if you changed your mindset that I'm here to be a solution provider? And you know what the thing is with prospecting? The majority of people are going to tell you no. Okay. This is why we say the more rejection I get, the more money I make. You could be the best script master. You could have all the skills. People are still going to tell you no. The reason why people get discouraged when they make calls is because tell them no, right? So if people tell you no, why don't you start to expect people to tell you no? because that's what I do. I expect people to tell me no, but I'm looking for 1 to 2 people per day to say yes. And so think about that. If you call 50 people a day and 48 people, I'll even say 49 people tell you no, but 1 person every day tells you yes. Is that a good day? Times that by 5 days, 5 listing appointments set, times that by 4 weeks, 20 listing appointments set in a month. Let's just say you go on, 18 of them and you only take 9 listings and only 6 sell. Is that a good month? How many of you guys would like 6 extra listings per month? And you might say, well, Justin, things are hard right now. People aren't answering the phones. I'm not getting as many dials. Guys, I've already taken 6 listings since the beginning of the month, and I've set 7 appointments, okay? This stuff still works if you're willing to work it. So I want to give you 3 keys to succeeding with expireds. Number 1, we have to have the mindset that they're frustrated, because they are. But we also have to have the mindset that they still need to get their home sold. Not all of them, but the majority of people still want to sell. And we have to, when we're having a conversation with expireds, we have to help them understand that their home didn't sell because of their last agent. And we need to help them to buy into that, okay? All you have to do is make phone calls and pull up listings on the MLS while you're talking to them. Some of these pictures are upside down, they're crooked, the write-up is ridiculous, the price is way too high, and most sellers are always going to go with the price that we recommend. So if an agent says it's worth 50 grand more than what it really is and it doesn't sell, that's the agent's fault. If the pictures are crappy, they're crooked, they're upside down, that's the agent's fault. So they need to know that it's the agent's fault, okay? So number 1, the home didn't sell because of their agent. They need to buy into that. And this could go with door knocking. This could go with picking up the phone. And this applies, guys, to not just expireds, but you can apply these same skill mastery, things that I'm talking about, to just listed, just sold, circle prospecting, door knocking, your database. We should be script masters in every aspect of our business. But expireds are a place that you can start calling or door knocking immediately and get in front of people. Number 2, help them understand that a different plan is what they need. I always say, if I can give you a second opinion and show you what we do differently to help you get your home sold so we can get you down to Florida before winter, what would stop you from at least wanting to take a look at that if there's no cost or obligation to? Nothing, right? So you need to help them understand that a different plan is what they need, period. And another thing that we have to help them to understand is if all agents did the same thing, wouldn't we all get the same result? We don't, because we all don't do the same thing. Number 3, get them back to where they were in terms of motivation when they first listed. I want you to write this down. Whether you're calling expireds, for sale by owners, circle prospecting, your database, incoming leads, there's 2 things you have to identify on every lead. Number 1, their motivation. Number 2, their timeline. When you can identify their motivation and you can identify their timeline, then you can offer a solution. And so we highly recommend contacting expireds every day, whether it's by phone, by text, or go knock on their door. Here's how you can find expireds in your local market. You can find them on the MLS, right? You can go on there and see how many homes expire in your market every day, go knock on their door. You can also, you can sign up for a program called RedX or Vulcan 7. These are dialers where the data is loaded into them every day. I've used Vulcan 7 for 10 years, every day. And you know what? It's made me millions of dollars over the last 10 years. These dialers, although there is an investment, they basically put you in an advantage situation than somebody trying to pick up the phone and dial by hand. And if you don't have access to RedX or Vulcan 7, we've already pre-negotiated discounts with them. As you being a part of Deliver You or being on this webinar, you can actually go to deliveryou.com/affiliates, okay, /affiliates. Now there's different types of expired listings. Number 1, brand new ones. You should be calling the brand new ones every day. Number 2, we call them newer, 3 to 7 days. Number 3, we call them the older ones, These are the last 8 to 30 days. And then lastly, number 4, the oldest ones. This is 31 days to 2 years previous. There are people who expired in January and February when the market was slow, that if they still want to sell, they need to be back on the market. Why? Because the majority of listings are selling with multiple offers again. That wasn't happening here in the winter, but it's happening again. I've encouraged one of my agents recently. I said, hey, call back to January, February, and let those agents know that the market is back to multiple offers again. Do you still want to sell your home? Right? These are things that we absolutely must do. Now, when it comes to objection handlers, the good thing about expireds and for sale by owners, there's only about 5 to 6 objections that you're always going to get. And so all you have to do is overcome those objections. When you learn how to overcome those objections and you focus on the process and not the end result, before you know it, you're going to have results showing up. Okay. I want to flip over to for sale by owners real quick. For sale by owners is actually my favorite source of business to come. Okay. For sale by owners, I believe, have the greatest opportunity to turn into a listing appointment, because all you have to overcome for them is the objection that they have, that they don't feel they can accomplish their goal of what they want to walk away with by using you and me. Okay, that's it. Every for sale by owner you call is pretty much going to say, I'll pay you 3% if you bring me a buyer, but I'm not going to list the home. Okay. I'm even going to give you guys a close that I use, that if I can get to this point on the script, I'm slam dunking appointment every time. Okay. So let's think about for sale by owners for a moment. So just like expireds, these are people who have raised their hand that want to sell their home. Okay. They know that they've identified themselves as, I want to sell. The difference between expireds and for sale by owners is a for sale by owner is convinced that an agent is not going to be a better option for them versus them selling it on their own. And they believe that not using an agent is the best way to get it done. Okay. But this gives us a great source to show them that we are the reason for them to help get their home sold. Okay. And what I love about this is if you can convince a for sale by owner that you bring more value to the table than just putting it on the MLS, they'll work with you. Okay. When you're calling for sale by owners, there's always 2 sales people present. The client trying to sell you on their beliefs as to why they don't want to use you, and then us trying to convince them why they should use us. And this couldn't be more true with a for sale by owner situation, because the for sale by owner actually believes that they are better off without you and me, and believe that they don't need us. So think about this. Are you going to be more skilled as a sales professional than a for sale by owner? Or are you going to allow them to be more skilled than you? Who's going to win the sale? So you're talking to a for sale by owner. Who's going to win the sale? The one that's going to win the sale is the one that has more conviction. And if you don't believe that you really have something of value to offer a for sale by owner, they're never going to set an appointment with you. And so when I call for sale by owners, I truly 100% believe that they're leaving money on the table if they don't work with me. And so let me go back to the script. So when I say, what was the main reason why you decided to sell it yourself rather than list it with an agent and make more money? And they always say commission. They always say. And so what I hear you saying is you want to walk away with the most amount of money possible, correct? Yes. And I'm sure you've come up with a bottom line number that you can't go below to where it wouldn't make sense to sell, right? Right. And as long as you get that number, does it really matter how you sell or how much commission you pay as long as you get what you want? Nope. So if there was a way I could show you how to put that same amount of money in your pocket or more and help you sell it sooner than later, what would stop you from at least wanting to take a look at that if there's no cost or obligation to you? Nothing. And I actually have a live for sale by owner call that you can find in the Glover Uniter Circle, where I had a lady give me 12 objections and tell me no 12 times. And I overcame every objection and I set the appointment. You guys can go listen to that and study that, and that will help you. Last but not least, we have to understand the importance of time management. The reason why most real estate agents don't succeed at a high level is because they don't treat this business as a business. They treat it as a hobby. They don't have a start time. They don't have a morning routine. We say own the morning, win the day. If you don't own your morning, you're never going to win your day. You have to write this down. Absolutely have to 2.5 to 3 hours of lead generation and prospecting time in the schedule every day. If you're not talking to people 2.5 to 3 hours per day, every day, you're not going to build a big business. So you could door knock, you could circle prospect, you could call expireds for sale by owners, but you have to have 25 to 30 conversations a day minimum about real estate if you want to do more business. Some of you guys already have very successful businesses, so it might just be adding in prospecting, might just be adding in door knocking. It might be adding in circle prospecting. For those of you guys that are just getting started, I'm the prime example. I sold 100 homes my first year in the business from prospecting. Jeff and his team have many, many, many successful real estate agents on their team from picking up the phone and prospecting. One of the other things that everyone absolutely should do is go take your DISC test. If you take your DISC test, you understand your personality style and you understand the personality style of the other 3 personality styles, you're going to be able to communicate to the people that are not like you in their language, and it's going to help you sell more homes. I don't know if Shauna's on here, but Shauna was in our last boot camp, and she shared on Tuesday or Monday how she was able to get a listing because she was able to identify the personality style of the seller when they tried to pull back and didn't want to sign the listing with her. She knew what their personality style was. She began to speak their language, and she was able to get that listing signed. Now, it's already 1:53 and almost an hour has gone by in a very short period of time. Like I said, there was a lot that we were going to cover. But if you learned something today and you found something of value today, do me a favor, drop a 777. If there was something that you learned today of value, okay? Now, obviously, we could only do this in 50 minutes. Imagine 16 weeks of this. I've had the privilege and the honor of teaching the prospecting bootcamp for the last 4 years, and I absolutely love it. I love seeing agents go from having limited beliefs and fear of rejection, being afraid to prospect, to taking more listings, selling more homes, and making more money. So I want to turn it back over to Taylor so she can share more about this program.
Yeah, absolutely. An awesome job, Justin. I was in the background taking quite a few notes. So thank you for that. That was a lot of content in a short time period. You definitely killed it. So Prospecting Bootcamp is a course that Justin teaches. It is absolutely one of our most popular classes at Glover U. It's a group class that's going to begin in mid-July, and it's taught by Justin personally. So if you saw value in today's course and you were getting tidbits and you're like, I want more, give me more, Prospecting Bootcamp is that solution for you. Everything that Justin kind of covered at a high level, he dives deeper in for 16 weeks. You know, a lot of you are asking, where do I find the call? Where do I find the call? Not only does he share that call and dissect it with you on one of those Zoom classes that he teaches, but he also does that consistently because Justin's prospecting every single day. So if he has a really good conversation with a client, he's going to pull it up on that next Zoom and say, here's exactly what I did. Here's how I handled that objection, and here's how you can do it too. And so I think one of the huge benefits of Justin teaching this course is because he's sharing the objections. You know, obviously a big one today, Justin, is interest rates, right? You got to be able to handle that objection. You know, and when you have a coach who's on the ground with you, he can give you the objection handler that he's using to get sellers to say, yeah, you're right. I do need to meet with you. Yep, I do want to cash out. Yep, I do want to take advantage of this. So here's a little bit of what the Prospecting Bootcamp course teaches. Obviously, it covers on all things lead generation. So when I'm talking to a potential client about, is this the right course for them? Sometimes I get the question of like, is this a starter course? No, it can be if you're brand new to the business, but also if you're an agent who maybe is striking out on some of your lead sources, or maybe you need that little kickstart to put you in a good position to help you lead generate. This is the class that teaches you all things lead generation. And also, like Justin said, one of the biggest ones, and a lot of agents sometimes struggle with this, is quickly identifying the personality style of the person you're meeting with, and do you know how to adapt to them? And do you know how to change that script? You know, when Justin talks about the expired script, he actually has 3 or 4 expired scripts, and he cuts some things out, adds some things in as soon as he realizes what personality style he's talking to. So it's ultimately, you know, if you're looking for a course that's going to help you with phone lead generating, communicating with clients, even door knocking is some of the things that we talk about in this course. This is going to really be the one that, you know, if you're behind on your goals for the second half, it's your solution, you know, to get you back on track. So Justin,
Taylor, let me say this too.
Please, yeah.
Somebody put in the chat, do we talk about social media? Absolutely. We talk about how to leverage social media as a part of your database and how to get in front of more people on social media. We talk about the 4 different types of databases you need to have. We talk about mindset. We talk about the 4 personality styles. Guys, this one I think is worth it. Just this 1 week. How would you like Jeff and the Glover Agency's top 25 sources of business that they use to sell 1,000 homes a year?
Hey,
That's
I didn't know you were giving that one out, Justin. You didn't. You didn't tell me that you were doing. No, in all seriousness, you know. So Justin, if you want to coach with Justin, I get all the time like, man, I love this guy. I love his energy. I want to work more with him. He doesn't do one-on-one coaching. This is your chance. And if you see here up in the top, you know, Justin, what's that say? What's that price? That's your how much?
$299 a month for 4 months, so $1,200. And I always say this.
Man. We got to raise the price, man.
I think honestly, how many listings would you need to take and sell to recoup $1,200? Like maybe a half a listing or a quarter listing. Andrew Pepper took our class last year and took 18 listings in 16 weeks.
Absolutely. So for more information on the Prospecting Bootcamp course, if you love what Justin brought today, I highly suggest that you listen to it. And if you already have your coaching picked out for the next session, if you know what group program you're going to, you know, we've talked a little bit about today, the Live Unreal retreat, right? Justin mentioned, hey, we're going to dive deeper into this during the retreat. Hey, we're going to cover this at the retreat. You may be wondering to yourself, what is this Unreal retreat that they're talking about? Like, where the heck is Traverse City? Who actually, by everyone who's in the chat, who has been to Traverse City before or has been to one of our Glover U events? Drop a 777 in the chat. I want to hear from you. And while you're dropping that, you're going to see there's tons of people who have been, there's tons of people who have exposed themselves to people outside of their box, outside of their comfort zone, agent to agent referrals. Obviously, all of that is great, but we also have a lot of fun and we learn a lot through this event. So I don't want you to just take it from me. We had our media team put together a quick 90-second video that kind of gives you a little overview as to what it is that we cover during this. I'm going to play it really quick, and when we come back, I have a couple more announcements, so don't leave me yet. Let's get this queued up here.
The housing market is crashing.
The interest rates are pricing most people out of the market.
We've seen rapid rate hikes, not just rate hikes on mortgage rates. They've been rapid rate hikes.
Taylor,
Sales dropped 7.7%, the slowest pace since 2010, and that was during the foreclosure.
You said you can't hear it? Oh, everyone else could. Just you, Justin.
Sorry, that's me. My bad.
You scared me, man. Hold on.
Crisis. To close out the year, we're going to see the mortgage rate surging again. I don't know what kind of shadow that's going to cast. We're going to start to head into the spring selling season here pretty soon with a pretty grim picture.
It's time to flip the switch.
I can't say enough great things about this event, all of the Glover U events, and of course, the coaching program. Unbelievable.
It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what your production is or even how many homes you've sold in the past.
I've been to many conferences throughout my 12-year career, and this is one of the best I've ever attended.
Not only are they coaching it, but these guys are doing it.
This is the place to be to continue your education in real estate and further your business towards success.
While our competition is sitting at home, reliving the same day they lived yesterday, we're doing something we've never done because we want something we've never had. It's a challenge and an opportunity. It's the pressure that forces us to grow. We don't fail, we learn. We're on the path to becoming the unstoppable force to which there is no immovable object. We're chasing our unreal life, and we're not stopping until we get it. Starting right now, we flip the switch.
Hi, it's Ed Milet, and I am so excited. Actually, I'm honored to be a part of the Live Unreal event coming this June, and I hope that you will join me there. I can't wait to meet everybody, and I'm bringing a message I'm really excited to share with all of you. It's going to be a spectacular experience, and I can't wait to share it with all of you that join. So we'll see you there soon. Max out.
Man, Justin, I don't know about you. Every time I see that video, it gives me chills. I'm so excited. So if you're interested in joining us, Justin's going to be there. Jeff's going to be there. All of our coaches are going to be there. It's also my birthday week, so that's going to make it even more fun. If you're interested in joining us, we actually, because you were on this webinar today with Justin, because you invested your time already, we're going to give you $100 off your ticket price. If you go to gloveru.com/retreat, and then you type in the code Justin100. Justin doesn't know this yet, but he's actually given every single person $100 off. He's personally given you that discount. So let's all go buy our ticket on Justin. And obviously, we hope to see you at the Live Unreal Retreat. There's that link for it. And if we don't see you in Traverse City, we look forward to seeing you in Justin's class starting in July. Thanks, Justin. Get back to your field trip. See you guys soon.